we challenge you to a Xiaolin Showdown. Xiaolin Showdown was Kids WB's most successful animated series of its time. It combined Eastern culture and martial arts with Western culture and comedy, as well as its characters. These characters will be our heroes from the Xiaolin side, pitted against the enemies from the Heylin side. This is not just for the mystical Shen Gong Wu, but for the fate of the world. This is a challenge to fight for the highest morality rank. The winner will be titled the purest good, and the loser will be titled the most evil. Hey guys, I'm Brad with Wicked Binge, and this is Xiaolin Showdown characters, good to evil. Before we begin this challenge, we're only focusing on the original series. We're all aware that it had a sequel, Xiaolin Chronicles, as well. While it was meant to be a follow-up, it was more of a standalone series that lasted one season and contradicted its continuity. And also, be aware of spoilers. With that said, let's go! Xiaolin Showdown, Gang Yi Tan Pai! As usual, we'll be starting with the most pure and noble characters and working our way down. These characters are the good. The gold medal for most pure good goes to Grandmaster Dashi. Dashi is regarded as the greatest warrior in Xiaolin history. About 1500 years ago, he defeated Wu Ya in the first Xiaolin Showdown. To maintain the balance between good and evil, he and Dojo hid Shen Gong Wu across the globe. The act alone qualifies him for the top spot. While Dashi tries to stay low and joke around, he can sense people's good character and honesty. This includes Omi when he traveled back in time to consult him for another puzzle box. He's also full of surprises. For example, when Raimundo opened the box and released his ghost to defeat Wu Ya once again. Great ghost of Dashi indeed. Dashi's selflessness and legacy continue to this day as the greatest Xiaolin dragon and the most pure good character. The silver medal of good goes to Master Feng. Master Feng is a monk and teacher of the four dragon warriors. Before that, Feng had also taken in Omi and raised him. To encourage their teamwork, he often assigns his students challenging tasks. He can also get serious and upset when his students refuse to listen to him, such as when Raimundo returned after Mala Mala Zhang attacked the temple. Aside from that, Master Feng is a kind and wise man who knows things that the monks didn't even realize they knew. Furthermore, he's a talented martial artist and will fight in a crisis when necessary. Despite his wisdom, Feng's advice and phrases would confuse his students. Additionally, he occasionally warns his students without explaining why. Curiosity killed the cat, as they say. Nevertheless, Master Feng is still a well-meaning and loving teacher, which earns him the silver medal. Our bronze medal of good goes to the Dragon of Earth, Clay Bailey. Out of the four main characters, Clay is the nicest. He's kind, mellow, and easygoing. Clay is also respectful in refusing to fight girls, especially Cat Nape and his sister Jessie. While Clay is the muscle of the group, he sometimes outwits his enemies. For instance, he defeated an evil mime in a mirror gag by punching his face so hard that the mime was knocked out unknowingly. Growing up in Texas, Clay enjoys eating, lassoing, whittling, and talking in cowboy slang. Clay's friendly, but he earns the bronze medal due to rare occurrences in which his feathers get ruffled, whether his hat getting messed with or getting along with his friends when working as a team. However, those moments are quickly resolved in the end. Clay may not be the purest of them, but he is the best of the Xiaolin dragons. Next, we have Kimiko's father, Toshiro Tohomiko. Toshiro is the owner of Tohomiko Electronics, the largest electronics manufacturer in Asia. He's both a hardworking adult and a kid at heart. He's also generous when he offers Kimiko and her friends his newest product line, the U-Bots. On a side note, he seems to have connections when he allows Kimiko and the others to enter the Emperor Palace. Some would even say that he looks like the late Nintendo president, Satoru Iwata. Toshiro is a little lower on the list for being too trusting without thinking ahead. For example, he partnered with Panda Bubba to run his company more efficiently, without realizing Panda Bubba was a high crime lord. Granted, Toshiro shows no hesitation when he finds out and demands ending the partnership, before Panda Bubba controls him with a Zing Zombone as his slave. Despite his unintentional mistake, he remains on the list as a good parent and creative individual. Next is his daughter, the Dragon of Fire, Kimiko Tohomiko. Kimiko is a friendly but headstrong member of the Four. She's the type of friend who's supportive, helpful, and approachable. As the daughter of an electronics company owner, Kimiko has always been passionate about technology, whether it's video games, her PDA, or her computer. She once escaped from Jack Spicer's trap by transmitting a virus into his security system, and later used Shen Gong Wu to hack a satellite. Kimiko would also wear different outfits when traveling outside the temple, so her sense of fashion is noteworthy. Unlike her father, Kimiko isn't higher up because she is short-tempered. Ironic considering she is the Dragon of Fire. She gets angry when people belittle her capabilities, or when she's prejudiced by guys. Kimiko can sometimes refuse to admit a mistake, which could worsen the situation. Thankfully, Kimiko redeems herself by staying focused and fixing her mistakes. Even after she cools off, Kimiko remains a nice and loyal Xiaolin member in the good area. Next is Jack Spicer's little cousin, Megan. She is by far the only relative from Jack's family that has appeared on the show. Authentically, Megan is like the younger cousin you wish you had known. She can be playful when it comes to playing dress-up in tea parties. At the same time, Megan also can be a spoiled kid when she's too demanding. Besides that, Megan is still good, not just because she's a kid, but because she has a moral compass. She's smart for her age by showing no fear towards Wuya and refusing to listen to Jack. Having been trapped in the rolling shield, she reveals to the Dragon Warriors where Jack hid the Shen Gong Wu in exchange for playing with Dojo. During their fight with Jack, Megan even helped them deflect enemy fire by running around in the shield fast. While the series centered around Jack, it is worth giving us a family member who isn't evil and who we would rather play with. Next is Jermaine. Voiced by the late Lee Thompson-Young, Jermaine is the only other friend Omi has made outside the temple. Jermaine is a streetwise and relaxed kid who has a knack for basketball. Jermaine saved Omi's life when he got lost in the city and from his friends. Once Jack Spicer challenged Omi to a Xiaolin Showdown style basketball match, Jermaine decided to join since he's more knowledgeable than Omi is. They won not only the Shen Gong Wu, but also their friendship. Eventually, their friendship turned sour when Jermaine returned and announced that he had become a Wu Dai warrior, much to Omi's chagrin. Besides getting angry when pushed too far, Jermaine is ranked lower for being as clueless as Toshiro. Unbeknownst to him, he was being trained by the evil Chase Young. After Omi revealed Chase's true colors and refused to fight him, their friendship was soon repaired. He may not be the smartest kid in the Big Apple, but Jermaine is a loyal and good guy regardless. Next is Master Monk Guan. Master Monk Guan is a powerful warrior known for his excellence in martial arts and wielding the Spear of Guan, his signature weapon. He and Chase Young were once best friends before later becoming rivals. Master Guan is a polite, mild-mannered man who's very considerate, especially for the Xiaolin Dragons. Though he is nice, Master Monk Guan committed a couple of dishonorable acts that detract from his good reputation. After losing his spear to Chase during their last battle, Monk Guan agreed to trade him Dojo in exchange for his spear. He did this anyway despite knowing dragons are the main ingredient in the soup that keeps Chase immortal. In response to Omi's encouragement, Monk Guan later rescued the main four and defeated Chase for their freedom. Omi even received his spear as a token of gratitude. Later on, Master Monk Guan prepared the Xiaolin Dragons in his temple to confront Hannibal Roy Bean. During their training, he acted so strict that Raimundo quit and rejoined the Heylin side. In the end, both he and Monk Guan set everything up to double-cross Hannibal Roy Bean. He gave Raimundo his spear in reward for faking. As it turns out, Master Monk Guan has an entire collection of spears. Hypocrisy at its finest. We would include the episode where he became evil in the alternate future. This time, it wasn't his fault if it weren't for someone who changed the future. Master Monk Guan is still an exceptionally noble warrior on the list. Next on the list is Dojo Kanojo Cho. At first glance, Dojo has a striking resemblance to Mushu from Disney's Mulan. He may fit the bill since he is the comic relief and voiced by Wayne Knight. Comparing the two, Dojo is the dragon Mushu wishes he could be. Dojo is the guardian dragon of the Xiaolin Temple and keeper of the ancient scroll. After Wuya's defeat, he and Grandmaster Dashi travel the world. They hid every Shen Gong Wu to keep the universe in balance. Dojo acts like a radar whenever a Shen Gong Wu is reactivated. Do we need to mention that he can transform into a 40-foot flying dragon? His form serves as the warrior's primary mode of transportation. Dojo is a loyal and witty part of the team. He can also be sensitive whenever he's ridiculed for his size, or is insulted and cowardly during dangerous times. His heroic moment was when he defeated the Sapphire Dragon by drinking lots of hot sauce and covering it in soot. However, Dojo did become evil in one instance, so he's in the lower good area. Every 1500 years, Dojo's devotion to Shen Gong Wu becomes so intense, he would overpower anything that stood in the way and needed to be locked inside a cage. Sadly, he had succeeded in tricking Omi into releasing him. Besides new powers and growing a second head, Dojo even went as far as swallowing his only friends and enemies. Fortunately, after Omi defeated him, Dojo forgot what he did, as if it never happened. Apart from those things, Dojo's a dragon who will always be there to help his friends. Our second to last entry on our good list is the Dragon of Wind, Raimundo. From Rio de Janeiro, Raimundo is laid back and spirited, but sometimes he can be mischievous. As a slacker, he mostly avoids chores and daydreams. Despite his mean-spirited behavior, Raimundo still intends to do the right thing with a sense of justice, regardless of the consequences of occurrences. Raimundo sometimes eludes his enemies by faking alliances or laying out fake Shen Gong Wu. As crafty and profound as Raimundo is, his betrayal on the Heylin side puts him low on the list. Master Feng withheld Raimundo's promotion as an apprentice when he disobeyed his order without thinking. This made Raimundo so upset that Wuya found a new opportunity for her grand plan. In exchange for helping her become human again, she promised him everything he desired. Though the plan worked, Raimundo eventually realized that living a life of luxury felt empty without his friends. Raimundo's moment of triumph came when he released Dashi's ghost and defeated her. Despite Master Feng's offer, Raimundo will become an apprentice when he's ready, following the trouble he caused. Raimundo not only became a Xiaolin apprentice, but he grew throughout the series. In the series finale, Raimundo from the alternate timeline attempted to drink the Lao Manglone soup, as a high-risk saving the world. Raimundo's heroic efforts earned him the title Leader of Shoku Warrior. Raimundo may be a jerk with a heart of gold, but his growth shows us that you become a better person by learning from your mistakes. At the end of the good section, we have Omi. Omi is a young monk raised in the Xiaolin Temple, where he spent most of his life training and dreaming of becoming the best. After meeting his friends and discovering the outside world, his life soon changed. Omi's categorized as the most talented and optimistic of the group. As a martial artist, he excels at handling his elemental powers. His biggest strength is his belief and sense of good within others, particularly with his enemies. He also takes his warrior role seriously, with a strong code of honor. However, these traits can also be his flaws. Omi's often naive when trying to adapt to the outside world, trusting others too much and not understanding metaphors or slang. Considering his young age, it is understandable and excusable. Omi's also egotistical when acting arrogant, condescending, and elitist towards others. His type of behavior was the main target for Chase Young when he secretly trained and turned Omi to the dark side. His quest during the series finale was both his most significant success and failure. Omi traveled back in time to prevent Chase Young from becoming evil to become the leader. Despite his planned success, Master Monk Guan became evil instead, and his friends became poor farmers. With that said, Omi still realizes his mistakes and tends to make things right, similar to Raimundo. Even with his faults, Omi is still a nice kid who cares about his friends. He may have the credentials to be a great warrior, but he needs more work on his social and empathetic skills. That's a wrap for the good characters. Now it's time to descend into neutral territory. This is the gray area. On the top of this list, we have Klofang. It's best to describe Klofang as Captain Ahab from Moby Dick. He has been hunting the mermaid Dyrus for so long that he won't rest until he prevents her from flooding the world. Both of them were frozen in ice during their last struggle. After they thawed out, Klofang attacked the Xiaolin warriors and Dyrus without warning. However, they soon realized that Dyrus is the actual threat, and Klofang is trying to save them. Despite the others saying Klofang is a good guy, he remains in the high gray area for having a violent first impression. He initially joined Jack because he believed Jack would help him find Dyrus, not because of Shen Gong Wu. After learning that the Xiaolin warriors were on the same side as him, he became their ally. After Omi defeated Dyrus, Klofang held her off with the cave starting to collapse on them. As a result, Klofang refuses to leave, resulting in both his and Dyrus's refreezing. At first, Klofang might seem like an intimidating and restless man. However, when you get to know him, he's a decent and deferential individual, and his struggle against Dyrus continues. Next is Chucky Chu. The dragon is different from Dojo in both good and bad ways. Essentially, Chucky Chu is a con man who sells fake Shen Gong Wu on the shady streets. He's also a trickster, but mainly towards villains and evildoers. Apparently, Chucky has ripped off many dictators over the years. However, the most interesting fact about him is that he was once Dojo's best friend. until he stole Dojo's family yo-yo and never returned it. Just before Chucky got caught for his scams, Chucky returns a yo-yo to the skeptical Dojo. As their enemies invaded the temple, the Xiaolin warriors discovered that Chucky had replaced their weapons with fakes in exchange for his freedom. Clearly, Chucky Chu is viewed as being unpredictable due to his gray area status. Although Chucky can be witty and cowardly like Dojo, he is dishonest towards his associates when it suits his needs. But there is a positive side to that unpredictability. After Wu Ya accidentally destroyed the Shen Gong Wu, Chucky reveals he had hidden the real Shen Gong Wu inside Dojo's nose without the villains knowing. The good news is that noble act earned him a role as an official Dragon Guardian. The bad news is that the yo-yo Chucky returned is a fake, which means he may not have redeemed himself enough. Be careful when you see this dragon. In the middle of the gray area, we have Clay's father, Daddy Bailey. Daddy Bailey is a tough and iron-willed, all-around cowboy. However, his relationship with his son is a whole other story. He took great pride as a cowboy and was always doubtful. Daddy Bailey was concerned and assertive about Clay being a warrior and not following his orders. He almost made his son leave the temple and go back home. If he had been that consistently strict, he would have been in a darker gray area. That all changes when the others discover that the family heirloom he carries is a Shen Gong Wu known as the Star Hanabi and must stop Jack from taking it. After Clay won it in his Xiaolin Showdown, Daddy not only allowed him to keep it, but he also allowed Clay to stay at the temple. It shows Daddy Bailey is a caring, loving, and supportive father towards Clay for his growth and development as a man. Even though Daddy Bailey's pride is as big as Texas, he is a soft and respectful parent at heart. Next is Jessie Bailey. Clay's younger sister Jessie is the leader of a motorcycle gang known as the Black Vipers. When it comes to fighting, she is very competitive, especially when it comes to her brother. The Black Vipers respect and obey her as a leader without question. Similar to Chucky Chu, Jessie can also be unpredictable. Her devious acts include bowing to Jack Spicer to take his Shen Gong Wu, freeing the warriors from prison, leading them into a trap, or cheating against Clay to win their Xiaolin Showdown, despite him saving her life. Soon it's revealed that Jessie has an inferiority complex whenever she's jealous of her brother's accomplishments. Due to that, Jessie is overall neutral for loving her brother but feels guilty for cheating to win the Shen Gong Wu. After returning all the Shen Gong Wu to the others, she borrowed the wings of Tanabe. Although we don't see Jessie again, her path of redemption is a start. At the end of the gray area, it's not a person, but a Shen Gong Wu. We present the Sapphire Dragon. The Shen Gong Wu are known as powerful and mystical artifacts. However, sometimes they develop minds of their own, including combining into a villain, which we'll eventually see. The Sapphire Dragon is an exceptional case. This Shen Gong Wu is the most dangerous and should only be used as a last resort. When used, it breathes fire that transforms its victims into sapphire slaves. It was first found as an unidentified object covered in soot inside a volcano. Upon awakening, it grew larger and began rampaging. It had no intention of attacking Dojo until he accidentally clawed it. The Sapphire Dragon is a frightful and quiet being of chaos. Due to its weakness being covered in soot, Dojo defeated it in the nick of time. Later, Hannibal Roy Bean used it again to scare Raymundo by fussing with the shadow of fear. The Sapphire Dragon would have been placed in a bad area if it had taken those antagonistic actions. Nevertheless, it remains neutral for not understanding good from evil or not knowing right from wrong. The dragon's intentions of turning every creature into sapphire for the sole purpose of gaining more power alone make it a threat. Let's just be grateful it wasn't used again. That's it for the gray area. We're now entering into bad territory. These are the bad and evil characters worthy of the Heylin side. For the least bad character, we have the self-proclaimed evil boy genius, Jack Spicer. Since second grade, Jack has planned and wanted to rule the world. He's an intelligent and ambitious young man who uses his parents' basement as a secret laboratory. He builds a variety of robots and looks up to other evildoers. Jack will do anything to achieve his goals when allied with greater evil villains. He relishes being evil so much that he either plans to make an evil entrance or intentionally lets out an evil laugh. Jack's villainous moments include bringing together historical dictators and his first grade teacher through time travel, controlling Chase Young's powers, and becoming Emperor of Darkness in an alternate future. With that said, why is Jack the least bad character? Apparently, Jack comes from a wealthy family and feels insecure and insignificant, motivating him to be a villain. Jack is a coward and laughingstock among both his allies and enemies. Jack has also helped the monks on occasion. For example, he created a time machine to send Omi back in time to find Grandmaster Dashi. In fact, Jack admitted that when they're not fighting over Shen Gong Wu, he would treat them to ice cream. That's nice. Jack would have been in the gray area if he had truly redeemed himself. For now, Jack continues to be bad in the most intelligent yet embarrassing way. Our next entry is a monstrous yet domesticated character known as Cyclops. While his origin still remains a mystery, he is helpful on occasions. Aside from his enormous size and superhuman strength, Cyclops can shoot lasers out of his eye. His most prominent role was when Omi tried to change his size or bulk up against him. It was more difficult when Omi was stuck in small size and had to engage the Cyclops in a Xiaolin Showdown so he can return to normal. Although intimidating, the Cyclops is surprisingly idiotic because of his lack of depth perception. A subtle fact about the mythological creature is accurate. His demeanor is also childlike, as he needs to be bathed and tended to all the time. If this monster demanded to have his toenails trimmed, sneezed on his caretaker without consent, and drank from a toilet like a dog, he would be considered disgusting. Cyclops' behavior puts him low in the bad area due to his lack of motivation and malicious intent. In truth, he would have been ranked in the darker gray area. No matter what, Cyclops remains loyal to Heylin, as he is the brawn without a brain. Next is the Chameleon Bot. Since we discussed Jack Spicer earlier, he has built a variety of robots. The Chameleon Bot, however, is regarded as being the most powerful. It can shapeshift and disguise itself into anyone. When Jack Spicer kidnapped Kimiko, the Chameleon Bot posed as Kimiko in her place to plot and stole the Shen Gong Wu. Its AI allows to imitate and adapt to different situations. Also, this robot is obedient to Jack when it forcibly loses the Xiaolin Showdown to make Jack the victor. The Chameleon Bot has a flaw in that it cannot duplicate someone's personality and needs time to learn. The flaw attracts a suspicious Omi to Kimiko's behavior. Granted, the Chameleon Bot was later upgraded, and it used its transformation skills to defeat Raimundo in a Xiaolin Showdown. Also, it seemed to be the only robot with free will and capable of speaking for itself. This robot felt like a missed opportunity for Jack to use. Fortunately, one contender on this list eventually succeeded the Chameleon Bot, but in a more evil way. Next on the list is Tubby Mora. He's more experienced as a ninja than he appears to be. He began as a mercenary hired by Jack Spicer and Wuya to steal the Sword of the Storm. Not only Tubby Mora succeeded, but he also officially joined the evil side. Due to his overweight appearance, he uses it as an advantage for offense and defense. Even though he joined Heylin, Tubby Mora doesn't seem interested in conquering the world. His ninja and agile skills are treated more like a job than as a spiteful act. When Tubby Mora needs to be paid, he can be serious and will make some extreme arrangements. When Jack cannot afford to pay him, Tubby Mora asks for his helicopter backpack as well as to walk his Chihuahua Muffin Face as payment. He's even crueler when he wants items from his enemies, like Clay's hat. Whenever Muffin Face is in danger, he shows a vulnerable side and is willing to surrender to save his dog. Besides that, Tubby Mora's day is all of a ninja's worth. Next is Cat Nappe. Insert Catwoman joke here. But in all seriousness, Cat Nappe is more of a parody of the DC Comics anti-hero. After meeting Jack and Wuya, they accepted her offer to join the Heylin side. As her costume and name suggest, she also has an army of genetically enhanced superkins. Her most villainous acts were freeing Wuya and then becoming Chase Young's apprentice. Cat Nappe, however, lacks an interest in world conquest. She wants to live a life of luxury and be as mischievous as possible. After winning the Golden Tiger Claws, Cat Nappe immediately betrayed Jack and Wuya and used them to commit crimes. In fact, she only freed Wuya because she heard Wuya could provide people with anything they desire. Wuya was forced to get Cat Nappe a big house, cosmetics, kitten servants, and so on in exchange for her services. She even gave up her alliance with Wuya after her work hour was up. Interestingly, Cat Nappe still sides with Jack and Wuya from time to time to find Shen Gong Wu. Regardless of whether you enjoy cats or not, this girl is one bad kitty, but by no means a perfect villain either. Next is the powerhouse spy, Vlad. Vlad is considered the sneakiest and most deceitful of all of Jack's minions. In Moscow, he guided the Xiaolin monks to the Crystal Glasses, a Shen Gong Wu with the power to foretell the future. Vlad joined the temple as a monk after saving the gang from Jack Spicer's theft. He turns out to be a spy sent by Jack to steal the Shen Gong Wu. While Vlad is both fast and strong, he knows how to exploit opponents. When a curious Omi peeked through the crystal glasses, Vlad used the reversing mirror to predict a future where Omi would enslave his friends. Having committed such a heinous act, Vlad then convinced Omi to take the honorable road to make up for his actions, which disbanded the team and gave Vlad the upper hand. Jack and Vlad have a similar interest in world dominance, but Vlad takes it more seriously. Again, he teamed up with Vlad to steal the Heylin seed, thanks to an internet rumor. Vlad even proposed having their own reality show after they ruled the world. Okay, now that is evil considering how popular reality shows were at the time. They were, of course, defeated when the Heylin seed turned them into plants. Vlad may not be as recurring as the other villains, but his plans are a step in the right direction. Next is the notorious crime boss, Panda Bubba. In all of Hong Kong, he is the richest and most dangerous crime leader. Whenever Panda Bubba strikes a deal with criminals and villains, usually it's because they turn to him for assistance, such as a loan. His desire for power is driven by an innate ruthlessness. When Jack Spicer traded his Shen Gong Wu for new robot parts, Panda Bubba used them on his henchmen to commit crimes. Moreover, he double-crosses his allies to carry out his sinister schemes, including those who are too trusting and unfamiliar with his criminal background. An example is when he formed a partnership with Toshiro to increase company production. With the Zing Zombone, he turned Toshiro and the factory workers into zombies to take over the entire Asian electronic market. As a crime boss, Panda Bubba is only interested in taking over Asia with all these derisive crimes. Surprisingly, Panda Bubba seems to be the only villain to have been arrested. Even with that, Panda Bubba is one rich man you wouldn't turn to for help. Next is Mala Mala Zhong. It's actually a combination of the following Shen Gong Wu: Helmet of Zhong, Two-Ton Tunic, Third Arm Sash, Fist of Tebagong, Eye of Dashi, Shroud of Darkness, and Jet Butsu. By using the Heart of Zhong, it can be resurrected. Once revived, it served under Wu Ya's control and invaded the Xiaolin Temple. Omi defeated Mala Mala Zhong by finding the golden tiger claws and removing the Heart of Zhong from within. However, that's only the tip of the iceberg. Every 1,000 years, the Shen Gong Wu themselves will again form into Mala Mala Zhong, but more self-sufficient and powerful this time, with a goal for world destruction. When Mala Mala Zhong found the Ring of the Nine Dragons, it divided itself into the Fearsome Four. As opposed to the Sapphire Dragon, Mala Mala Zhong sincerely desires mass destruction on the Heylin side. The Fearsome Four are then commanded to do whatever they want by whoever holds the Emperor Scorpion, no matter whose side they're on. It's not every day that you get to see 4 demonic warriors tap dancing and laughing evilly at the same time. Even so, Mala Mala Zhong remains a powerful servant of evil, and its path to eradication is what earns its place. Splashing closely to the top 3 is the mermaid Dyrus. Pop culture is familiar with mermaids, from Disney's The Little Mermaid franchise to H2O, Just Add Water. However, some mermaids were also considered dangerous in folklore. Their physical beauty lures passing sailors to their unavoidable doom as sirens. No other character has a more accurate representation than Dyrus. As soon as she thawed out, the monks quickly helped her escape from Clofang. Dyrus then flirted with the guys and trained Kimiko, tricking the others into doing chores. While Dyrus looks gorgeous in the water, things get darker once she steps out of it. Dyrus uses her looks to manipulate others as long as she remains in the water during her master plan to flood the world. Seeing her true form as a monstrous sea creature compels Omi to accept it. Ultimately, Omi outsmarted her, and Clofang held her off. Dyrus will not thaw out anytime soon after being frozen again. So remember kids, don't judge a book by its cover, especially with evil mermaids. The Bronze Medal of Evil goes to Chase Young. Narcissistic and no-nonsense, he is a highly rated fighter with no respect for anyone opposing him. In addition to his mastery of martial arts, Chase Young is well known for his ability to transform into a lizard-like creature, underlining his seriousness. He also has a fortress full of jungle cats who obey him. These animals are actually cursed forms of warriors Chase fought throughout history. By swearing allegiance to him, they became his slaves. Chase is not interested in acquiring Shen Gong Wu, and instead concentrates on his own plans. He trained Omi to be evil in Season 2, while regaining Wu Ya into her human form. Chase Young is clearly the show's most evil character because of these serious and dark plans. So why did he get the bronze? Well, Chase Young used to be good. After the first Xiaolin Showdown, Chase dreams of being the greatest warrior. Drinking the Lao Mang Lone soup made him immortal by exchanging his soul into the Heylin side. Chase Young can be viewed as a darker version of both Omi and Raimundo. Despite being evil and egotistic, Chase maintains a code of honor and never breaks promises. In the alternate timeline, in which Chase never became evil, he sacrificed his good nature by freeing the others and accepting his fate. Although Chase Young is evil, there is little good in him, which makes him worthy of the bronze medal. The Heylin witch Wuya takes the silver medal. Wuya was once the greatest evil, bent on conquering the world. Dashi defeated and imprisoned Wuya in a puzzle box during the first Xiaolin Showdown they had. Wuya was released centuries later by Jack Spicer as a ghost. In exchange for Jack's wish to rule the world, she encouraged Jack to find Shen Gong Wu and return to her human form. Wuya is a ruthless, cruel, and cunning person who will stop at nothing to achieve her goals. Wuya is a ghost that is irritable, impatient, and criticizes those who fail in their missions. To meet her needs, she is determined to find a person who is not as incompetent as Jack. Wuya has the same supernatural ability as Dojo to detect Shen Gong Wu. Wuya's most diabolical acts were forcing Raimundo into the Heylin side and joining Chase Young, both of which led to her regaining human form. As a master of dark magic, Wuya is considered to be superior to Chase. Wuya is more calm, persuasive, and keeps her promises to her accomplices when she's a human. One flaw stands between Wuya and the gold medal: her downgraded status when Chase restored her without her powers. Chase's master plan would fail if Wuya's influence interfered. Wuya remained loyal to Chase, despite her occasional attempts to overthrow him. Chase and Wuya could not have been more evil if they hadn't been constrained by such an evil force. The gold medal of evil goes to Hannibal Roy Bean. Don't be fooled by his size and southern accent. Don't even call him a jelly bean. Chase Young and Wuya have been major threats, but Hannibal Roy Bean has been surprising. He's the reason why Chase turned evil in the first place. Because Chase feared Master Monk Guan would be selected as the greatest warrior, Hannibal offered him Lao Mang Lone Soup as a trick. Though the plan worked, Chase Young immediately banished Hannibal to the Yin-Yang world. Several years later, he escaped with the help of his loyal espionage, the Yin-Yang bird, and signature weapon, the Moby Morpher. The Moby Morpher is a dangerous Shen Gong Wu that can transform its user into any form. This is the kind of villain that Chameleon Bot could have been. Hannibal Roy Bean is a very rude and cruel being who wants to spread evil for evil's sake. Similar to Chase Young, he cares less about collecting Shen Gong Wu. Hannibal believes that evil is destined to reign forever when attaining power. He would also sometimes have a backup plan. When Omi stopped Chase from turning evil, Hannibal turned to Master Monk Guan instead. He even thanked Omi for carrying out the mission he was meant to carry out. Beneath that sinister grin, this being has no sympathy or heart. With an established background, scheming nature, and malicious acts for power, Hannibal Roy Bean will go down as one of the most evil villains of all time. Alright guys, that's the list. What do you think? Do you agree? And did we miss any other Xiaolin Showdown characters? Let us know in the comments if you agree with our ranking, and tell us which series you'd like to see next. Be sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss new episodes of Good to Evil featuring your favorite cartoons and video games. But most importantly, stay wicked.